Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Northern Lights Center for Spiritual Living. We are a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. And Northern Lights Center for Spiritual Living offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. Our promise here is to reveal, inspire, uplift, celebrate, and magnify your greatness. We acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded lands and waters of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and coastal Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. In a similar fashion, we acknowledge how the labor of enslaved Africans and their descendants who suffered the horrors of transatlantic trafficking, chattel slavery, and Jim Crow has given rise to so much of what we know in this country today, including its culture, economic growth, and development throughout history and across time. We also name the Asian and Chicano people who toiled with little recognition. We are indebted to their labors and sacrifices, and we must acknowledge the tremors of that violence throughout the generations and the resulting impacts that can still be felt and witnessed today. Please join me for our opening song in this Woke Up This Morning. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Well, I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All day long I keep my mind stayed on the spirit. Well, all day long I keep my mind stayed on the spirit. All day long I keep my mind stayed on the spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Well, good morning, all.
Good morning.
And thanks for being here. We are going to now go into meditation. So we're going to take this time to go within. And Maestro, whenever you're ready. Yes, we're all ready. So let us get comfortable in our seats. Removing everything from our laps. Hands in our lap in an open and upright position. And allowing our eyes to close. Let us take 3 deep cleansing breaths in and out together. So let's breathe in and let it go. And breathe in again. And letting it go. And one more time in. And letting it go. So this morning, we're talking about consciousness. How to be more conscious. And being more conscious, being more self-aware. And the practice we're going to do is called body scanning. And we're just going to be in a mindful space, being in this present moment to our bodies. And so let's start with our feet. Just be conscious of how your feet feel. If you have on shoes, just how do they feel within your shoes? How do your toes feel? How does the heel of your foot feel? Just be conscious of your feet. Now moving up to our lower leg, your ankle, your calf, your shin, your knee. How do they feel? Just be present to whatever feeling you're experiencing without judgment, just being present to the feeling. And moving up to our thighs. How do your thighs feel? If you're sitting, you might feel them on whatever type of seat you're on. Is it hard? Is it soft? How does it feel? And moving up to our buttocks. If you're sitting, this is what you're sitting on. How does it feel? Are you comfortable in this position? You feel the need to move. How are you feeling? And moving to our abdominal area. How does it feel? Did you have a chance to eat breakfast? Is your stomach grumbling because you didn't? How does your abdominal area feel? And moving up to our chest. How does it feel? Your heart beating. Being present to your heartbeat. As you're taking each breath, just noticing your chest, how it goes up and down. Now let's be present to our shoulders, arms, and hands. How do they feel? Your hands may be resting in your lap. What does that feeling feel like? Just be present to that area in our body. Now moving up to our neck. Part of our bodies that holds up our head. How does your neck feel? Perhaps you're swallowing, and there's a feeling that happens as you swallow. Perhaps you have fabric around your neck. How does that feel? Or some type of jewelry? What are you experiencing? Now moving up to our head. Being conscious of our head. Which houses several parts of our body, our mouth, our nose, our eyes, our ears, our scalp, forehead, cheeks, chin. How do you feel? How does your head feel? And so as we come back into this room, let us give thanks for our bodies. Let us give thanks for this time to be present to our bodies. So let us come back and be in this present moment. And so it is. everyone nice and relaxed? I am. Okay. So this morning's reading comes from my phone. And it is called 7 Daily Practices to Expand Your Consciousness and Self-Awareness. Ever notice how life's everyday moments slipped by unnoticed? That's where consciousness and self-awareness come in. They're your ticket to experiencing life more fully without necessarily sitting consciously. So the article, 7 Daily Practices to Expand Your Consciousness and Self-Awareness. Okay, I just read this part. It repeats. Okay. So ever notice how life's everyday moments slip by unnoticed? That's where consciousness and self-awareness come in. They're your ticket to experiencing life more fully without necessarily sitting cross-legged on a meditation cushion. While traditional meditation offers tremendous benefits, it is not the only path to developing greater presence and awareness in your life. Science shows that there are multiple routes to expanding your consciousness that fits seamlessly into your existing routine. The good news? You don't need to carve out special time for formal meditation to develop heightened awareness. Research from Harvard psychologists suggests that incorporating mindful awareness into everyday activities can be just as effective for building consciousness and self-awareness as dedicated meditation sessions. These 7 practices are designed to slide effortlessly into your day while gradually expanding your consciousness and transforming how you experience your life. Are you ready to discover how ordinary moments can become extraordinary opportunities for greater mental awareness? You ready? Okay, let's explore 7 practical alternatives that help you develop consciousness and self-awareness through activities you're already doing. Ooh, yay. Practical daily activities to boost consciousness and self-awareness. 1, transform walking into mindful movement. Your daily walk, whether to the coffee machine or around the neighborhood, becomes a consciousness expanding practice when you bring attention to the sensations in your feet, the rhythm of your steps, and the movement of your body through space. This simple shift transforms an automatic activity into a powerful tool for developing consciousness and self-awareness. Number 2, practice deep listening. During conversations, most of us mentally prepare a response instead of truly listening. Try this instead. Give your complete attention to the speaker, noticing not just their words, but their tone, facial expressions, and body language. This practice develops presence and emotional intelligence while deepening your consciousness. Number 3, and this is what we just practiced, incorporating body scanning. Take 30-second body awareness breaks throughout your day. Start at your toes and mentally scan upward, noticing sensations without judgment. This quick check-in builds self-awareness by reconnecting you with physical sensations you might otherwise ignore. Number 4, transform mealtime. Eating mindfully means fully experiencing your food, noticing colors, smells, textures, and flavors. Even if just for the first 3 bites, this practice grounds you in the present moment and expands your sensory consciousness. Number 5, use breath as an anchor. Your breath is always with you, making the perfect tool for consciousness practice. During routine activities like waiting in line or sitting in traffic, bring attention to your breathing. This immediately shifts you from autopilot to awareness. Number 6, engage in single tasking. Counter to our multitasking culture, try giving one activity your complete attention. Whether washing dishes or sending an email, fully engage with just that task. This builds focused attention and deepens your experience of the present moment. And number 7, practice sensory immersion. Several times daily, pause to fully notice one sense. What sounds around you right now? What textures are touching your skin? This simple practice expands your perceptual field and builds consciousness of experiences you typically filter out. So now integrating consciousness and self-awareness into your daily life. Start small with these consciousness and self-awareness practice. Even 2 to 3 minutes of intentional awareness creates meaningful change in your brain. Neuroscience shows that regular, brief periods of focused attention actually rewires neural pathways, making awareness more accessible over time. Create awareness triggers throughout your day by linking these practices to existing habits. For example, use the sound of your phone ringing as a reminder to take 3 conscious breaths. Or practice body scanning each time you sit down. These consciousness anchors help integrate awareness into your natural rhythm. The beauty of these practices is how they build upon each other. As you develop greater consciousness in one area, it naturally expands to others. Neuroplasticity research confirms that these small interventions create cumulative effects, gradually transforming your baseline level of awareness. Remember, expanding consciousness and self-awareness isn't about adding more to your busy schedule. It's about bringing quality attention to what you're already doing. By transforming all ordinary activities into opportunities for presence, you discover that greater consciousness is available in every moment. No meditation cushion required. Ready to experience the benefits of greater consciousness and self-awareness in your everyday life? Start with just one of these practices today and notice how it shifts your experience. Your journey to expand awareness begins with this very next breath. And so it is. You can send that, Reed. I will send it.
We are an expanding and loving community working in a field of infinite potential. We are an expanding and loving
community work in a field of infinite potential.
We are an expanding and
And
loving
community working in a field of infinite potential.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder, and
Oh, is he still singing?
He's still singing, yeah.
Oh.
He stopped it.
Nobody's hearing anything now because
Hear that part again.
where is he?
Oh, I even have my thing in the car this time. I'm just trying to remember to get up and move.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's singing, but it says share. I got share sound on. It should be.
You have share screen on?
To do the things I need to do to take care of myself. Will I?
Well, not here. Uno momento. You are co-host.
Recording in progress.
Well, that's me. Let's try again.
Moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
moves and breathes and has
We are the place.
I am the place
Where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
breathes and has
We are the place
I am the place
where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
All righty then. Thank you, Reverend Michael, for continuing to try and get my song going so I could get my whatever on. I love that song. So welcome. I'm Reverend Pamelagrace. Welcome to some of the newer folks I haven't seen in a while, but I remember Viesta. I've seen you, and Bernadette and family. Hello, hello, hello. And I think that's Luann up there in the corner under Manifest. There she, okay. Leanne, I'm sorry, Leanne. I was thinking you, Lou Rochelle and Leanne, your mom. Well, welcome this morning. And I am going to share my slides.
Oh.
However, I just want you to know that Eddie Watkins just told you the essence of my talk. I am the place, we are the place where God lives, moves, and breathes, and has its being through us. So this month, we're talking about elevation of awareness. And Stephanie did a beautiful job of, okay, we're sharing. Beautiful job of giving us, I love that, Stephanie. Thank you so much in your reading, as well as that lovely meditation, which relaxed me so much. It was just wonderful. But the reading, giving just the easy things to do, because I don't know about the rest of you, but by the time I finish doing all my spiritual practices, it's in the morning, it's the end of the day. Not literally, but it's a lot of time. So it's a wonderful idea to have how to integrate it into our daily living. So elevation of awareness. It's within us. It's a given. It's our legacy. And what I'm speaking of here is that higher awareness that Eddie was talking about. Knowing that spirit shows up in us as us. I used to get very upset when I was first learning science of mind. If something good happened, it was like people would say, oh, give God the glory. God did it. Yep. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thanks, Spirit. Thank the universe. Thank Mother, Father, God. Thank him, thank him, thank him. And if something bad happened, it was, how did you make that happen? Pamela, you're at fault. And I thought, it's really not fair that if it's good and it's happening, it's all about God. And if it's bad, it's all about me. There's something, I'm not feeling that. It's sort of like we preach that there is no separation, but we're preaching separation. Good God, bad Pamela. I don't like it. Why, what if, okay, I'll accept that if it turned out badly, I may have had something to do with it. But what if I had an equal amount of something to do with the good? As my father would say, how about them apples? So this gift of higher awareness and the power to change our lives, the power to guide our lives. It's within us, it's a given, it's our legacy. What's important here is we don't have to do something to deserve our good. A lot of times, folks, myself included, from time to time, have wallowed in lack of deservability. I don't deserve the good. I didn't earn the good. I'm not good. I was talking to a group of women, a friend, a dear extended cousin friend came out to visit, and she brought two friends. Very talented, smart, accomplished women. And one of them said, I'm bad, I know it, and I want to be able to claim that. I'm bad. And she didn't mean bad like, you bad, you go girl. She meant bad like not good. And of course, the three of us at the table wanted to fix that. She did not want it fixed. She wanted to stay right where she was, thinking that there was something wrong with her, that there was something unworthy about her, undeserved about her. And she is aware of New Thought, of Science of Mind. She doesn't have anywhere she goes. And she's talented and smart and accomplished, but she's decided she's bad. Now, I know everybody in this room knows, okay, that's not good. Even though we all do things we perhaps wish we hadn't, and if we could, we might change it if we could go back in time. And I say might because I do buy, we're always doing the best we can with what we got and what we know at the time. Later on, when we become a little more evolved or the like, we look back and say, ooh. But at the time we were doing what we were doing, if we could have done better, we would have. So it doesn't make any sense to spend a lot of times beating ourselves up about what we did back then, a month ago, a week ago, even an hour ago. It does make some sense to give some thought to it and to think about what we might change. But our transcendent purpose is to continue to up-level ourselves, to grow, to recognize we are the place where God lives, breathes, and has its being. And how are we putting that out there? How are we living into that? So we think we know. Now that's a bit of a trap. Right when we start thinking we know, in a way it's a good thing because, okay, I know. But in our culture, there is a heavy emphasis on what we think. And as we think we know, and we think that what we see, do, and hear in this world is a reality, is the truth. As we level up, move up in our awareness, we recognize that what we see is not necessarily the truth or all of the truth. Could be some of the truth, but it's not all of the truth. And it's not the only thing in action. I call the thoughts that come in from my higher awareness within me celestial downloads, incomings, ideas, solutions. How many of you, if you can raise your hands, get solutions to problems when you wake up in the morning? Does anybody? Am I the only? Oh, good. I'm not the only one. Yay, yay. Well, it's different for everybody. For me, I get downloads in the morning and I just love it. They just tumble right down. Now, there have been times when I've gotten downloads in the shower, when I've been in a commute, and my favorite place to get downloads is in boring meetings. There is something about meetings that I, one, don't want to be in, and two, are boring me to death, where my creative brain, side of the brain, just wakes up and just takes me on a little Alice in Wonderland trip. And I have a wonderful time thinking about things and what have you. And I'll be writing notes and they think, oh, isn't she sweet? She's capturing what's going on. No, she's not. She is thinking about what she's going to do when she goes to Hawaii or what to say to so-and-so when she gets out of this meeting, or how to make this project go a little better. It's a boring meeting. I get to do that. I won't even go into how many boring meetings I used to be in. Now I choose better. But we have celestial, and I call them celestial because I'm talking about our higher awareness, and I happen to like the word celestial. I think it's pretty. We have access to a broader library, if you will, of ideas and solutions and so on, that's beyond what's right in front of us. And those 7 practices that Stephanie mentioned, I'm going to say grease the wheels. So you may not get your epiphany while you're being still and paying all your attention to washing your dishes. That's a spirit. That can be a mindful activity. We're putting ourselves into the actualness of washing the dishes versus wishing that task would be over. Frankly, I go back and forth between them. But when I used to actually wash my dishes, not wash them to put them in the dishwasher, I could get into a whole mindful thing that would still my mind. And there was something about that stillness, whether it be in a mindfulness task, a meditative task, a contemplative task, where you're there and you're allowing your thoughts to come through. That stillness opens the door to the incomings, the ideas, the solutions, the epiphanies later on, if not right then. I think I've mentioned this before, but I know some of you haven't heard this. When I first moved to Seattle, I was trying to remember, was it Seattle or California? But it was Seattle. When I first moved to Seattle, I was in ministerial school, and I spoke a lot at the Kent Unity. I went there initially because it was peaceful and people didn't know who I was, and they would just let me come and be in the service, which was really nice. If I went to a CSL church, they would incorporate me into working and just dent my zen. But when I went to Kent, I could just be in a sweet spot. Then they found out who I was and they started having me speaking. So I would write my talk ahead of time, of course. I'd have it all mapped out. I'd be on the way to Kent, which was 15 minutes away, and I'd get an incoming. And the incoming would say, tell them about ba-da-dee-ba-da-dum. And I would say, nope, not doing that. It's not in my outline. And the incoming would say, I said, tell them about ba-da-dee-ba-da-bum. And I would say, talk to the hand. This is planned. We're going with it. I know what this is. And the incoming would say, are you listening to me? I told you to tell them about bada-dee bada-bum. And I say, well, why didn't you tell me that when I was writing this outline? Why do we have to do this now when I'm at the door? There was one time I argued with incoming all the way up to a minute before I was to walk up to do my talk. And I said, okay, fine, I'll put it in there. Now, you know that every time that happened, somebody in the room needed to hear it. You know that, right? And somebody would come up to me and say, you know, you were talking to me. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't talking to you. Incoming was talking to you. Finally, what I did, since I mapped my talk with Post-its, I took extra Post-its. And then when I got incoming, I wrote it down and stuck it in the outline. Sometimes our downloads are like that. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm mad and I'm going to stay mad. They can apologize. And incoming is saying, go over there and apologize. Like, nope, I'm not doing it. It wasn't my fault. Nope, I don't want to. And incoming is saying, I said, apologize. I have to admit that on those ones, I argue a long time, but I finally give in. Move into my higher self, because that's what it takes. Because when I'm down here and I'm mad, I am not in my best level. Move into my higher self, suck it up and apologize. So sometimes it's things we are resisting. Sometimes they are epiphanies, like the old burning bush. That's, what is it, old school? You don't get burning bushes anymore. You get other stuff. One person was telling me, what was it? Oh, license plates. She said that whenever she had an issue or a question, she would see a license plate that would address it. I got you. God is. You are. I forgot what all of them. She had about 30 that she'd written down because they were so startling to her to be getting her answers from a passing car's license plate. I've never had that, but I've had birds tell me a thing or two. And songs on the radio, when I used to listen to the radio in the morning before I got up, it was my alarm. The songs on the radio would be right on what I was concerned about. So these incomings can not only come straight to your head, they can come from the environment around you and help us move up level ourselves. It pays to pay attention. So there is nothing in the universe that limits us or wants to limit us. God is not out there. The universe, spirit, mother, father, God, whatever the great ground of being, as the Buddhists say, there is nothing malevolent about it toward us. We're not being tested. We're not being punished. I like to think the universe is turning somersaults to give us the good we want in the world. I love that idea. And so often I see proof of it. When I think I need this or I need that, and I've got it already, it's right. I didn't know we had that. Dang. There it is, right there. That's what I was looking for. Turning somersaults. There is nothing in the universe that withholds from us, because in so doing, it would withhold from itself. We are part of its purpose. Spirit seeks, urges, and pushes us to fulfill it. Now that's a little esoteric. Okay, that's a little, all righty. but spirit is expressing through us. And if you think about, what comes to mind is the story of the pearl, where the kingdom above this world had a little prince who had gotten everything he wanted. And his parents said, his father actually said, I want the black pearl. And it's down there in that city in the belly of a monster. And Sweet Pea, it's time for you to have a little growth journey. I'm going to send you to the earth to find and retrieve that pearl for me. It's a beautiful pearl, it's rare, and I want it. So they sat the little prince down, set the little prince down on the edge of the city. They took off all of his arraignment, his beautiful cloak of woven gold, etc., etc. They gave him a little bag of money, and his mother said, don't eat or drink anything on your way to fulfilling this quest. You stay focused. He didn't. He met these people. They said, oh, aren't you fun? Why don't you come with us to the local bar and blah, 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 blah. And he bought them drinks. They noticed he had little gold in his bag. He bought them drinks and he bought them food. And they stayed with him until all of his gold was gone. And then, of course, they deserted him. There's a song about that. God bless the child who's got his own. But that's another story. So here he was, deserted. By now, his little earth traveling clothes were in rags. So he decided, I guess I better go do what I was sent down here to do. So he goes off to find the dragon that has the pearl and discover that the dragon sleeps at the bottom of the sea near the city. He gets to the sea. He walks onto the beach looking for the dragon, and he notices the carcasses of all the other people who had come for this dragon and the pearl. Bones and helmets and swords and armor are strewn all over the beach. And he says, oh, sugar. He didn't have any helmet, sword, armament. So he just stood there and waited. The dragon got up out of the water, spied him, and said, ooh, this one will be easy. He doesn't have anything to get in the way of my teeth. I can just bite him for lunch. So the dragon came up to him, and he picked up a sword, and he said, I'll stab him right between the eyes when he gets close enough. I can do that. David and Goliath, I can do that. And then he had an incoming. And the incoming in his head said, put the sword down, look the dragon in the eye, and sing to him. And he said, that don't make no sense. But okay. So he sang a lullaby. His father had sang him when he was a littler kid. The dragon fell asleep, belched, and the pearl came out of his mouth. He gathered up the pearl, walked back through the city, did not look left or right, nor stop at any taverns where he used to meet his friends, so-called friends. Got to the edge of the city, and a little bird came down, perched on his shoulder, and his rags turned to the golden a clothing that he'd had when he came, and so it was. And so that story has multiple levels. First, related to what we're talking about today, is that he trusted the incoming. Second, he ignored the advice he got in the first place, which was do not eat or drink with these people, stay on task. You know how often we get pulled off task? We allow ourselves to be pulled off task. We allow our little minds to run in circles. I have to work with that all the time. And the third is that people who are trying to lead you into dens of iniquity or situations or events that are trying to lead you away from your task, away from your commitments, away from your transcendent purpose. We have to be aware of those folks and gently push back. I have decided yet again that I'm going to live a drama-free life. And so where I know it's a den of drama, I'm avoiding it. I also know that drama can be an internal thing specific to me, and I'm the one responsible for bringing that drama down. So this has a whole lot of stuff on it, this chart. But what I most like is the side over here where it talks about where our energy is and what the experience of it is. And below this red line is the most negative energy. And you'll notice what's in here: pride, anger, desire. All this stuff is drama stuff for us. When we move into this area, so at 200 you have courage, courage to make a decision, courage to make a different choice, courage to see things differently. And then it has neutrality, but the way it describes neutrality is trust, being satisfied, releasing, just letting the stuff go. And then the willingness, optimism, hopeful, inspiring, intention, acceptance, forgiveness, harmoniousness, merciful. And this forgiveness is forgiving ourselves as well. When I was in Science of Mind Foundation, we were given an exercise every night to write down all the people we needed to forgive every night until the next class and see how that worked for us. And I did it religiously every night. And when I got to class the next week, the teacher said, well, how did that go? And what was the impact? And I said, well, it was okay. You know, I kept forgiving people and forgiving people. I said, I didn't get any burning bush or great epiphany, but I did work on forgiveness. And he said, did you include yourself on that list? I had not. I should have started with me. So forgiveness, acceptance, goes back to what I said. What we did, we did. Our charge now is to do better the next time. And then it moves into love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. Pure consciousness is the process. I don't know any people who live here. I think we can dip into this or peek into this every now and then. And perhaps there are those enlightened beings out there that can stay there a whole lot longer than the average. The average person living in their higher self is in this area. But we can move into this area. And I do think that each time I see this chart, I don't see a space of gratitude. So I'm going to say that gratitude is right about here. Acceptance, or maybe above reason. But somewhere in there, being grateful makes a difference. So we have these levels of spiritual, emotional evolvement, and this is one way of looking at it, a map of consciousness. Here we have what I'm calling brain alchemy, creating brain alchemy. These are, didn't mean to do that. Here we go. These are the practices. Stay prayed up. I'm sure you've heard that somewhere. People say, well, I'm prayed up. And so I'm ready to do this. Well, I love that the Muslims pray 7 times a day, that they're on their knees 7 times a day. I love even more the idea of being prayed up all the time. And I think that what Stephanie was talking about is an element of that. It's an example of how to stay prayed up by being mindful, being present. How you define prayed up. It isn't just so much, okay, I've got spirit and it's got my back all the time, I'm prayed up. But the spirit within us, we're always in touch with it. We're always aware that there's a higher self. We resist falling off of the spiritual wagon, the awareness wagon. We resist it. And if we do fall off of it, we get back on it very quickly. So we're avoiding the on-off switch. I'm in the, what is it? I'm in Zen. I'm in it. I'm in there. And now I'm not. And I'm being my regular self. Oh, okay, now I'm back in. We avoid going back and forth. Try our best to stay in the presence, of who we are, whose we are, and bring that into where we are. Creating brain alchemy, meaning having access to the greatest self within us. Continue our spiritual practices. The meditation, the journaling, the contemplating, the walking in nature, whatever it is that you do that you know raises your vibration a little higher. It could just be visualizing something better. I added, ask how can I versus I can't. I hear that so much, oh, it can't be done, I can't do that. There's no way. Asking, how could there be a way? What could we do? What else? What if? All of those open the door to our higher level of thinking. I can't, I won't, I didn't, I'm not, closes that door. So something as simple as saying, well, how might we get there a different way? Can make a big difference and tap into the intelligence that's within and around us. And my incoming told me to add this one, this or something better. And I think this was up for me because there was something I really, really wanted to do. And I was getting all, I want it, I want it, I want it. And if I don't get it, I'm going to be upset. And will I get it? I don't know if I'm going to get it. Maybe I'll get it. And finally, I said, first of all, I'm going to just leave it to the universe. But second, I'm going to know that what it is that I want out of this that I want, that it'll either be this or something better. And when I was able to think that, I was able to relax about getting what it was I thought I wanted. Because I thought, sometimes you think you want something, you get it, and you find out, ooh, that's not what I was expecting. So this is something better. And by the way, I got it. All good. So finally, the affirmation for today. I elevate my awareness through practicing the presence of spirit within me. I just changed it. I elevate my awareness through practicing the presence of that higher power within me. And so it is. And may I ask our practitioner, Stephanie, to come and do a closing prayer for us before we hear the last song. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Reverend Pamela. So let's just take a deep breath in and let it go. Whew. And being in this breath, in this one breath, this breath that is God, the only breath that is, the breath that we are each one with. I just simply stand in this place of speaking my word, and I declare and know that all that was shared today is whole, perfect, and complete. And it is just a practice that we are adopting, a way of being. We are in this consciousness, this elevated consciousness. We are in this place of living our purpose. We are in this place of allowing the downloads to come. We just simply let go of our small self and just allow our elevated self to guide and direct. It is always present. It is always here. It is always loving up on us. It's moving us, guiding us, directing us, and we allow it to be. And so I'm celebrating each and every one of us. I'm celebrating our awareness. I'm celebrating our elevated consciousness. I'm celebrating who we are deciding we are going to be, and that we are just doing it. We are being our best selves. We are aware of who we are. We are aware of where we are, and we are allowing ourselves to be elevated, to be guided, to be loved up on. For the universe is always saying yes and giving us everything that we desire. And so right now, let us decide and be open and accept all of our good. And so I'm giving thanks. I'm giving thanks for this awareness. I'm giving thanks for the elevation in consciousness. I'm giving thanks for us allowing ourselves to be the greatness that we are. And so from this place of thanksgiving, I release my word to the perfect action of the law. I let it go and I let it be. And I seal this by saying, Ashe, Amen,
Amen.
and so it is. You're welcome.
In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the songs of all my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers, and the way to rise beyond the pain, I'll live, in thee. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the smiles of all the unborn children and the dreams of a brighter day to come, and the dance of heaven with the earth, I'll live, in thee. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Been robbed and disgraced, abused and displaced. Been robbed and disgraced, abused and displaced. Been lied to, but lies can be seen through in the land. You can't fall from grace in the land. You cannot be hurt in the land. There's more than enough in the land. You're always at home, always at home, always at home, always at home, always at home. Oh, in the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Reverend Pamela and to Stephanie. Stephanie for the reading, the meditation's awesome. And your closing prayer there. And I want to thank everybody that's been on YouTube. That's here. And I hope you come back next week. We'll be here. Same place, same time, same station, just like Batman. And so now.